Hello, today's amazing woman of influence is Vanessa Horn. Vanessa is the CEO of Vanessa Horn International, a global business and personal development company and marketing agency. She's a sought-after speaker, business coach, and author of the books I'll Have What She's Having and Profit with Honor. Vanessa has an MBA specializing in entrepreneurship and leadership. Over the last 11 years, Vanessa had successfully managed being a mom of three boys while also building and selling several businesses, including a multi-million dollar network marketing business and online coaching business. She has worked with over 20,000 purpose-driven entrepreneurs to help them build successful businesses working for just 4 hours a day. Her expertise is helping you create high-end clients and multiple six figures online without having to blog, do social media, have a website, or any other of that traditional busy work most entrepreneurs think they have to do. She's also about creating big impact and income from a place of grace and ease. She's been featured on national television, radio, and magazines for her work, and she and her husband of 18 years and their son currently live in North Carolina. Sons currently live in North Carolina. Welcome, Vanessa.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, and I'm super excited to talk to you today because a 4 hour day sounds like a dream to me right now, and I would love to hear more about it. So let's hear about your journey. I really want to know about your journey as an entrepreneur. Where did you start? Why did you start? And what struggles did you get along the way?
14 years ago, I was pregnant with my first son. And contrary to all my resistance previously, even though I had an MBA and I was very successful with my corporate career, I was scared to be an entrepreneur. But I wanted so desperately to have the flexibility of being home with my son and my future children that I was like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And that was my first launching into entrepreneurship. And the the faith and the courage that it was going to take to be able to try to build successful businesses. So I started out by buying a franchise. So I kept my corporate job. I bought a franchise and I was running that franchise, and I had my first son, and within a year I had my second son. So to start, I had a full-time corporate job for a top Fortune 500 company. I had my franchise and my two kids, and I was not able to create the income from that franchise to replace what I was making in my corporate career, and I was a breadwinner. So it wasn't until later on, I was doing this track, trying to do all those things at once, and then I launched into network marketing. And network marketing ended up being my launching pad for major success as an entrepreneur. And we were quickly able to build a $2.2 million business within a year's time, and I was one of the top income earners for that company. I sold my franchise, I left my corporate job, and for several years, for 5 to 6 years, all I did exclusively was network marketing and built to the top of two companies. But there was something more inside of my heart. I felt like, and I had been asked a very powerful question by my coach, and he said, Vanessa, if this were the last year of your life, what would you do? And I said, I've got to share my message. I'm building everybody else's businesses, and I don't feel the purity of self-expression in the world the way that I envision it could look like. I want to speak on stages, not just network marketing stages. I want to share my own message. I want to have books that impact people's lives, that impact generations beyond my lifetime. I want to serve people, and that's when I got introduced to this whole world of coaching. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can do that. That sounds like what I've been doing and what made me be successful in network marketing. And so what happened was I sold my network marketing business, and I launched into what I call is this business model of being a coach, a speaker, and an author. And I make the distinction of it being a business model because, again, I come from a background in MBA, and having built and sold several businesses, I knew in each area, my franchise, my network marketing business, all of them were different models that I had to learn to be successful. But when I came into this coach, speaker, author space, and leveraging online marketing, I knew that it was a different space. I needed to learn the model. And so that's kind of the journey that got me to where I'm at now. And I know that you have some questions of like what had happened, because when I transitioned to this online space and being a coach and a speaker and an author, for the first time, I had major, major struggles. And for 18 months, I did not make money. And I'm like, wait, what? I was successful in corporate. I was successful in my franchise. I was successful in network marketing. What am I not getting about this particular space? And so now, and I know this is what you want to dive into further in our talk today, now I serve people because I see why I wasn't making money initially. And I've seen and I've had to decipher from all the learning, all the money I've invested to learn this model. I had to decipher what works, what doesn't work, what to do at each stage in your business if it's really going to make money for you. And one of the key values that I hold is, how can I do this from a place of grace and ease? I've built and sold multiple businesses, and I've burnt out many times along the way. So how to create a business that's successful and sustainable means really being able to focus on the things that are allowing you to create sustainability, take care of yourself. And so, this protection of my 4 hours a day that I work and building success in that has taken very fine tuning my business. And I'll just tell you, there was just the defining moment when I was sitting in a minivan that we had purchased off of eBay. I had downgraded my cars because I was in network marketing. I'd earned all the luxury cars. I had downgraded my cars because I knew I could invest $40,000 in a luxury car or $40,000 in a coach. I invested $40,000 in my coach, and I bought this cheapest van I could find on eBay for $6,000, this gold minivan. I did not like the way that it looked, and it's not what I wanted to be driving, but I was going to invest my money in what really mattered, which was me and learning this model. And so I was sitting in that minivan. I had driven down to the track and field where my husband is a coach. And I was sitting in the parking lot waiting for him to get out of practice. And he walks over to me with tears in my eyes. And he's like, babe, what's going on? And I was like, I don't know what I'm not getting. I don't know why I've been able to be successful at other things, but this online marketing and this particular model, I am not getting it. I don't know what I'm not getting. I see people on Facebook making it happen, being successful, and I know I have what it takes, but I don't know what is not clicking for me. And he said, babe, maybe you're going through this so that someday you could serve your clients when they're in this position. What do you need to hear right now? And I said, I just want somebody to tell me, do ABC 1, 2, 3, and I'm willing to do it. And so little did I know that he was prophetic in what he said, because today the work that I do is serving other purpose-driven entrepreneurs who are like me, feel like they have a message to share with the world, want to leverage online marketing to reach as many people as possible, and need to make money to support their families. And I serve them in making sure that they're focusing on the things that really do create income and the things that aren't going to drive them crazy, working busily, that's beyond working reasonable hours. And if they really wanted to pare it down to just 4 hours a day, I've proven with what I do in my life and business now that is possible. So that's my entrepreneurial journey to where I've gotten to where I'm at now.
That's amazing. I absolutely love that because, we all go through that. All entrepreneurs go through that stage of, how do I get my message out there? And there's so many ways to do it, and people teach so many different things, but how do you really know what's works and what doesn't work? And I love the fact that you share your story, and it's something that you've actually been through. You've experienced it. It's not just another talk. It's something that you've actually experienced. And I love the fact of, 4 hours a day, that I look forward to getting to that. And occasionally I do have a 4-hour day when I want it to be, but I'm like myself, and I speak for so many entrepreneurs. How do you get to that? So maybe we can get into, the story. You told us a story and how you did it. Now share your secrets. We want to know. We want to know, how do we do that? So, let's talk about, for an entrepreneur that just got started, and they're, ready to share their message. They're out there, they're ready to really take it to the next level. Or maybe they've already reaching the 5 figures, but they want to get to the 6 figures. I don't know if you have different tips for different level of entrepreneurship, but let's talk about how we can get there too.
Yeah, so let me just share with you a couple of principles, and then I'm going to teach you like the core strategies. So the first principle is this myth that we believe that someday when I get to whatever's the number, and we all have this magical number in our mind, that we think once I hit that number, then I'll be able to enjoy whatever it is that we think is this lifestyle that we'll enjoy. I had that myth. I thought when I create $1 million business, then I'll be able to relax. Then I'll be able to take weekly massages. Then I'll be able to work 4 hours a day. And I remember one of my coaches said, Vanessa, build your lifestyle first, then build your business around it. And I argued with him. I said, no, you can't do that. You don't understand. I can't let up. No, I can't go for a walk. No, I don't have time to read poetry. No, I don't have time to get a live plant because I don't know if I can keep it alive. No, I can't even get pets. Like, you don't understand. Like, this is a newborn business and I've got to build it to be sustainable. Until I burned out myself. Complete adrenal exhaustion. And I realized that, and I had access to, my brain was compromised. My body was compromised. My voice was compromised. My ability to write and type, and I'm a writer, was compromised. And I realized, you know what? Nothing is worth the cost of my health. And there's even this quote. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see if I can pull it up because it's so critical about mankind. Dalai Lama, when asked what surprised him most about humanity, answered man, because he sacrifices his health in order to make money. Then he sacrifices money to recuperate his health. And then he's so anxious about the future that he does not enjoy the present, the result being that he does not live in the present or the future. He lives as if he's never going to die, and then he dies never having really lived. And that was me. So the first myth is that someday we think we're going to hit this number and then we can relax. I say no. My coach was right, and it's the way that I live now. I build in my schedule to honor that in the morning is my sacred time before 11. And from 3 o'clock on is my time with my family. And I build in my weekly massages. It's not that much money in the grand scheme of things. I prepaid for a year's worth of massages. I think it was like $1,200 because I got a major deal for buying a big package. So for $1,200, $1,500, I locked in a weekly massage for a whole year. And so I put that on the calendar. And then I built in going to the gym, my daily baths, like things that consider luxury, like those are what to me were leisure and relaxation and fueling my soul and my spirit. So I say build your lifestyle first, then build your business around that. So even though we're led to believe that we can't, we should, and it's what it takes in order to to be smart. So what happens next is you have to be super, super discerning with your time. There's this myth. The second myth is you can have it all. And my question becomes, what does all represent to you? Because you have to be excruciatingly discerning. And I say, in order to create a level 10 life, you have to make level 10 choices. So therefore, I look at everything that I do every interaction that I have with a person, everything that I commit to, and I say, is this a level 10 for me? If it's not, if it's less than a 10, it's a no, or can I delegate it to somebody else on my team that it's a 10 for them? And too many entrepreneurs, because they are talented, because they are multi-passionate, because they are competent, think just because I can, I should. And just because you can doesn't mean you should. So therefore, you have to be excruciatingly discerning between what is a 7, what is an 8, what is a 9, what is even a 9.9, and say no to those things so you only say yes to the 10s. So those are the two core principles that if you're going to build success working with a reasonable number of hours a day, that you have to build and have in the back of your mind. Now, let's talk about strategies. My philosophy is one core focus. And even more specifically, one core program. What happens is when I interview entrepreneurs, or when I invite them into, we have a community, a 6-figure income stream community for purpose-driven entrepreneurs, and I ask them to introduce themselves, and I say, tell me about your businesses. What do you have? And many of them have multiple businesses. And I say, okay, if I had a dozen clients ready to pay you right now, what would you sell them into? And they're like, well, I could sell them into this or this or this, like a bunch of different things. But when I dig deeper and I ask the question, are any one of those things making you 6 figures? The answer is usually no. And in that case, you have too many focuses. So when I work with my clients in my program, Create Your Signature Program, and helping them dial in, we usually are doing subtraction versus addition to their business. And by subtracting things that are not in their zone of genius, things that take an immense amount of emotional energy, therefore taxing their bodies, I look at what is effortless to you. What is your zone of genius? What do you love to do? And how do we find the right audience that's willing to pay you a premium for it? And the key to that is the way you package your service and the way it's positioned. And do you really deliver on the core outcome that you promise? So this is like what we start with our clients. And if you build your business on one core focus, and it's really your zone of genius that creates a transformational value to your ideal audience, you can create multiple streams of income with that one focus. You can serve, my favorite is group programs, because you have leveraged delivery. You can serve VIP days. You can serve one-on-one clients if you want. You can do retreats. You can do live events. Those are all different income streams from one singular focus. So that's the core strategy that I dial in on from an offer perspective. The core strategy I dial in on a marketing perspective is, do you have a well-converting funnel? Now, I hate that word funnel. It sounds so unsexy. It sounds so masculine, frankly, because most of the people who are teaching online marketing are men. And it's this aggressive energy. It's kind of in your face, and that's not me. I'm very much about authentic marketing. I'm very much about grace and ease. I'm very much about being a powerful but elegant woman. And how do I serve powerfully without having to be a man to do that? And so therefore, I've taken what I've learned from the men and their genius, and I've taken of what it takes to embody being a powerful but graceful and fully feminine woman, to know, then this is what I call it. It's a funnel in online marketing words, but I call it an elegant marketing system. And so your elegant marketing system has to educate your clients on what it is you do. It serves them along the way. So it's education-based marketing, and it has them eager to work with you. I came from network marketing where I knew how to always find my next lead and prospect. But what I teach is your marketing should be so strategic that people are left pursuing you. And I learned how to do this so well, and I help my clients with this, that it's this elegant marketing system so I changed it. That first 18 months, I was looking for who's my next client. I was doing a bunch of free sessions, but wasn't creating clients. That once I tweaked this and got a well-converting funnel that educated my ideal audience and had them eager to work with me, then I had 1,200 applicants over the course of 2 years apply to work with me. Now that's turning the tide of marketing so that people are pursuing you and you're not constantly pursuing your next lead. Now, that elegant marketing system does not have to include a website. You don't even need a website to create 6 figures from a program. You don't even need to blog. You don't even need to do social media. You don't need to do all these things that are going to eat up your time, that are a waste of time, unless you have a well-converting funnel or elegant marketing system that you know by the time someone goes through that, the right prospects are pursuing working with you. So I focus on that core marketing asset that is that elegant marketing system that you can point any traffic there, because traffic is the next step, right? And I know that's your expertise. And you can point any traffic there because you know that it will convert for you and you'll have people eager to work with you. When they get on the phone, you can sell them into your program. You can sell them one-on-one. You can sell them into whatever one of your whatever income stream you want, but it's one core focus and you're having one core marketing pointed to that focus and you're not all over the place. And most people, they don't know what their core message is. They spend time building a website or doing all the social media and all of that. And it's just a waste of time because unless it converts for you, it's just brand exposure. And I've consulted clients who came to me who had an 800 million social media exposure online. And they're saying, and I asked them, how much money are you making from that brand? And they said, 0. We have not figured out how to monetize it. So people make the mistake of thinking, oh, if I just have exposure, that means I'll make money. No, you have to be strategic in knowing where are you taking them. That's that core offer that I help my clients start with creating. And then you have to make sure that your marketing is structured so that it converts on your behalf. So those are 2 key principles and 2 key strategies that are fundamental if you're going to build a successful business and do it without working your butt off all the time and burning yourself out.
I love that. So, okay, so we don't need the blogging. We don't need all that. We can manage to put it all together through this signature program, like creating a signature program you're saying. So tell us a little more about signature programs. What really is what is considered a signature program, and how do we build it? Like, how do we know what our signature is?
So as one of my gifts to your audience, I have created my 6-figure blueprint for high-end signature programs. So I'm going to highlight a couple of key things that are in there, and then I know that you will give them access to that link where they can take it further. But let me just explain, there's 2 key pieces, which is that signature program, but then also the marketing system that you layered pointing there. And so your signature program, all that it is, when I say what is your signature program, it means that you have packaged your expertise in such a way that people want to buy working with you. So you've got to market to a top of mind issue that your audience wants. Like, what are they typing into Google that they want solved? Can you solve that for them? So you package solving that for them and you break down the steps to that process with your own intellectual property, right? So for instance, I know that like for instance, I work with my clients on like what is their mission message as well as their marketing message. So for me, my core message is serving people around that they're enough. that they're enough. Why? Because I've lived a life of building success and achievement in order to feel valuable in the world and serving others. And it really took a major, major breakdown in my mid-30s that had me come to terms with, wow, at my core, I really question that just me existing without having anything to contribute and do in the world is enough. And so my core message is that you're enough. And if you really believe that, if you really believe that your story is valuable, if you really believe that what you've spent hours studying and investing energy into learning could serve others, what would you create in the world? But you can't, people aren't typing into Google, how do I believe that I'm enough? So I don't market that you're enough. I market a top of mind issue, which most people is, how do I make more money? How do I create clients? And I teach how to create high-end clients. Why? Because when I teach you how to package your expertise in a systematic way that delivers results for your clients, I promise somewhere along the journey, you will likely, if you're a human being, like everyone else that I work with, no matter what level of success you've had in your life, you will likely have that internal dialogue that says, really? People would pay for this? Really? Like, who do you think you are putting this in the world? Or, oh, so-and-so is already doing this. Or look at how many other people are doing this. And so therefore you discount your own gift in the world. So you've got to pay attention to, like, what is that core top of mind issue that you're solving, and can you create a process by which to deliver on it? So I know, because now we've delivered our Create Your Signature Program workshop 13 times. I have it so systematized, step by step by step, based on pretty much my story and now having worked with thousands of clients around this work. But I've broken it down to, like, what are the most important things that you need? You need to solve a top of mind issue. You need to know whom you serve and what problem you solve for them. You need to be able to answer the question, what do you do, in a succinct enough way that people are like, oh my gosh, I've got to work with you. And the way you do that is by speaking to that top of mind issue in clear words that they understand. And a lot of people trying to do their marketing work online are using a bunch of ethereal words, or they're speaking in paragraphs so that people are not getting their message. It's not standing out amongst all the billions of websites that are going on online, or the thousands of Facebook Lives that are going on, or all the social media posts, because it's not infused with their core uniqueness of their message and a top of mind issue that they're solving. And so what we do is in that core program is we look at what's your unique positioning and how do you break down these steps in such a way that you know that you can deliver on it. So you say, hey, do you have this problem? I can help you solve it. And then you better have your process created in a way that you can deliver that if your clients implement. And so now I've helped clients who came to me who have had, based on their stories or based on their passions, we created programs that they've launched online. One of my clients today now makes $600,000 a month from one core program. One guy came to me and we started with, he was scared to do his really passion project. And so he started with the program. He's like, okay, well, I can help people do this because I've done this in the past. And he made six figures within 90 days. But then when we got into his real passion work, he created clients that were paying him six figures. And so this is what a signature program is simply, what is a core problem you solve, and what are the steps that you solve it in? And I'm really, really big about delivering that in a way that people can consume online. So most of the programs that my clients create is stuff that they can deliver and have clients from all over the world enrolled in, that are delivered via group programs. And so, for instance, one of my clients was flying all over the place helping startups to create their 5-minute pitch so they can get $1 million of funding for their startups. And we took what she was doing in her workshops and we created an online program So now she could have clients from all over the world participate, and there she could scale it. And now she could do in-person workshops if she wanted to, but she was charging even more for those. And so that's what a signature program is. Does that make sense? Do you have any further questions that would help clarify that for your audience?
No, I love that. I think that's great, and I am all for signature programs and having programs, and not just trying to, get out there by just so I would, one-on-one coaching and that. And I say that because I deal with so many health coaches. A lot of health coaches I see struggling, really struggling out there with their business, trying to find a way to, like, oh, I can't find clients. I don't know how to grow my list. I don't know how to, to get these one-on-one clients or these group coaching programs. And they're just struggling and like, oh my gosh, I have to go find another job to be able to, to make a living until I can get this health coaching business off the ground. And I'm just using health coaching as an example because it's one of the biggest, I guess you could say, industries that is rapidly growing. So maybe you can give us some
I could
tips
give
on.
an example. I could
Yeah,
give
that
you
would
an
be
example
great.
of a health coach client that
Yes.
came to me and how this process applies to that. So she came to me and I said, so she works with clients one-on-one and she wanted to create a program. And I said, well, tell me what you do. And she goes, well, I help people lose weight. And I said, well, what do you help them do? And she said, by making healthier choices. And I said, well, Paula, with all due respect, like that's a message that's rampant online. Like, how are you going to stand out? I said, tell me more about what you do. And she said, well, she says, I help them tap into the subconscious. So she says, the work that she did was like hypnotherapy. She did some uncoupling work. She did art therapy. She did all this stuff. And she goes, I help their brain visualize their slimmer self. And then to build in, they start making changes that are congruent to creating that slimmer self. And I said, well, hang on a sec. Because I've known women who used to be slim. One of my roommates was like, Vanessa, it's harder when you've been skinny and now you're in a bigger body. And I said, what if your client used to be slim? So maybe a woman who's carrying extra weight due to childbearing or due to working too many hours or due to her hormones being out of whack. And so now she doesn't even want to look at her pictures because she doesn't want to admit how bad it's gotten. And then she has old photos of herself when she was slim, and she's still keeping a pair of skinny jeans in the closet that are a reminder of the size she used to be. And I said, would your work help someone who used to be slim get better results because their brain is not trying to visualize a slimmer self? Their brain is actually seeing a slimmer self. She said, hands down, absolutely. I go, that's your signature program. I said, we create a program that's geared for women who used to be slim, who are now carrying. I go, what do you think? What range of weight can you help them get off? She goes, 30 pounds is a sweet spot for me. I go, okay, women who are carrying an extra 30 pounds, but who used to be slim. And we did her whole campaign on your skinny jeans miss you. Let's plan a reunion. Your little black dress misses you. Let's plan a reunion. And so now, due to her story, due to her unique methodologies, she had a positioning for her work in the world that was a specific niche, a specific problem, and it was unique. It stood out. It wasn't just another, I can help you lose weight by making healthier choices, boring vanilla message. And that's what we help our clients do is like get to that core story or work that you do that's unique, that has people hungry. And too many people think, oh, I'm marketing to the world. I don't want to narrow down. I don't want to niche down. Well, you're not making money. I mean, my first 6 figures was with less than 2 dozen clients. That's all you need. Stop messing around with the lower price stuff. Get your most brilliant work. Charge at a healthy rate for it, and you don't have to have a ton of clients. And so it's finding that sweet spot of your genius and your marketing position that has your message stand out. And I work with health coaches and other coaches, even life coaches, who say, I'm a life coach. Well, no, what part of life? Tell me about your life. What have you overcome? And we narrow it down to their zone of genius so their message like pops in the market. People resonate. They can run ads and people are like, they feel like they're talking to them, and they have people pursuing them because they're not just another vanilla message in the market. Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely. So we talk about it in a sense where for coaches, how about for someone like, okay, let's talk about myself because I'm creating a list building program that I'm going to be launching soon. Maybe we can use that as a scenario. So I have a product, but it's a list building product. Obviously, that's just boring, just list building. There needs to be some kind of signature to it. So maybe you can kind of coach me and that people see what it's all, how it all works. So talk about list building then. How can we create the signature program with that?
Okay. So your signature, if you're leading with a list building message, you're making an assumption that your market values list building, which most do if they've done any kind of online marketing. However, there could be another angle, which is like list building gives them what? Right?
Hmm.
List building gives them what are some other issues that your audience is suffering from that list building solves? Maybe more clients,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
Or maybe they've created programs and they have crickets.
Hmm.
Nobody is signing up for it. Or maybe like list building. I'm big about like you can create your first six figures without having to, like my first list I built up to 300 for my first six figures, but you can continue. People always think like a bigger list is more money, but unless you do it right. So what you can distinguish, then I would dive into like, what's your story? What's made you want to solve this issue in the marketplace? And so whenever you're positioning your solution for list building, you may take the angle of list building straight on for the people who know value of list building, but you could take other angles of, do you want more clients? Do you want to expand the reach of your work? Like those are two additional messages that the solution is building a list. Does that make sense?
Love that. Yep.
So you would
Definitely.
have to potentially educate, like the reason why you don't have more people buying your stuff is that perhaps you need to have more people that are hungry for your work. So list building is the solution. So you need to educate that list building is the solution. Because if you lead with just list building, that's only going to hit the people who already value list building.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? So
Definitely.
those are a couple different positioning angles for the message. Now, every time that I do education-based marketing that I teach my clients to do is like, what's your signature talk that you can deliver via a webinar, or if somebody's interviewing like you're interviewing me, or if you're doing a Facebook Live, or if you're writing an article, or if you are doing, like I say, do those things that they light you up and they bring you joy. But you've got to incorporate in that. And if you go back and listen to this interview that I just modeled, what did I do? I started off, one, I had my story, but two, I hit off at the myths and mistakes that people make. I hit the top two myths. And so for you, Serena, in order to get people hungry for your program, what are some myths or mistakes or problems that you know your audience has that they're trying and you know it's not solving the problem that they're experiencing, and you know if they would work with you, if they had your solution, they could solve that problem. Can you name at least one thing that you know that they're doing wrong?
Yes. Let's start with Facebook ads. People are trying to do Facebook ads or just getting in there, diving in without learning about it, and they're putting $5 or $10 or $25 or $50 into it, and they're not getting anything out of it.
Okay.
So yeah, that would be, I think, one that a lot
So
of people
number
come to me.
one is Facebook ads and you're not getting a result for it. The
Hmm.
solution is Serena's
So,
methodology of list building.
perfect.
You're
Love that.
teaching, right? So
Yeah.
what's another myth or mistake?
Webinars. People are doing all kinds of webinars. They're getting maybe 50 people signing up and nothing's coming of it. Nobody ends up buying their product in the end.
Right? So what's the solution? What you teach in your program,
Mhm.
right?
That's right.
Then what's another mistake that people make, or a myth that's not getting them the results that they want?
Spending a lot of hours on social media and not getting anything out of it.
Perfect. So what you've just done in those three things, you've had your audience say, oh my God, that's me. That I've either experienced that or I was thinking about doing ads. I hadn't done them yet. But what you've just done by starting your message with the myths and mistakes, you've set your audience to be hungry for your solution. And then I teach them what is your solution, steps 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then here's your program where they can learn it in depth and get support in implementing it, because we're an information overload as entrepreneurs, but where we need support in is implementation. So you say, here, I can even give you away these steps. You're trying to do these 3 things. Those things aren't working. Here's what you should do instead. But here's my program where you can take it deeper and you can get support implementing and getting the results that you really want. Do you see how I just helped you craft your message in a way that makes your audience hungry for what you have? I should be an affiliate for you.
You can definitely anytime. Oh my gosh, Ra, I'll set you up tomorrow. That's so true.
But your solution for traffic layers on top of what I teach is you've got to have that converting funnel. And once you get those people there, you've got to know where you're taking them, which is your signature offer. And so that's where we're playing complementary. And I don't want to get in, when people are doing their offers, stay in your zone of genius. I don't want to be a traffic teacher. I don't want to. I don't love that. You and others could teach that. I will help support clients in making sure that they're positioned uniquely, that they've created their marketing in a way that makes people hungry for their work, and that they can deliver the outcomes that they promise to their prospects.
Oh, I love that. That is so great. And, I agree, signature programs are having a program funnels, however people want to call it, is an important factor. But I guess a lot of people don't understand what a funnel really is. So when you say funnel, you opt in, what's the process of a funnel really to get to that signature program?
So for me, I teach high-end, that's our expertise is high-end. Why do I teach high-end first? I say flip the model, because a lot of people try to start low-end, but let's just say your income goal is $10K a month, and you could do that multiples. Let's say you wanted, $1 million a year, you're at 8. $80K a month, so 8 multiples of 10. So let's just start with 10 for a round number. A lot of people say, well, I'm going to sell this low-end program for $100. Well, in order for you to have the 10,000 that you want a month, you're going to have 1,000 clients. No, what's that? 100 clients a month buying your $100 a month, your $100 program. That's a lot. People don't know how much traffic it takes to really create that kind of volume. So I teach go high end first, create cash flow that allows you to reinvest in growing your traffic and growing your online options, your low end offer. I just got off the phone with a gal that her program is $29 a month. She's a membership site. I go, honey, and she's 5 people in it right now. I'm like, you need thousands and thousands of, you need a lot of more people than you have on there now for you to hit your income goals. I go, let's go high end first, create you some high end clients that allow you to offer this. A low end program should be a phase 2 activity. Go high end first, serve clients at a high capacity, either group, that's my favorite, or one-on-one even. I do VIP days and such, but start with the high end. And so that's a funnel. I say most people think they can just throw up a webinar and convert people selling them into something. That's easier said than done. And it's unfortunate because it's marketed all over the internet. I teach people how to conduct sessions in such a way that they can enroll people at no matter whatever it is that they want to enroll them into on the back end. How do you conduct a sales conversation or a strategy session or a discovery session in such a way that you serve the prospect so powerfully and they're hungry to work with you, and they're like, okay, tell me more about your program. And so in order to create a funnel that leads to people booking strategy sessions, the call to action needs to be like, here, book a session with me and we can connect. Once you get really good at those sessions, you can sell straight off of a webinar or some other education-based resource into your program. But most people try to do that too soon. You have to have the conviction that you can deliver on what you do, and it's felt. It's its own skill to be able to sell straight off of a webinar and sell low end. And I call low end anything under $2,000. So to me, a funnel that sells high end that I've seen work extremely well is having that education-based webinar or video or tool that is your main resource that distinguishes, like I did with you, what are the 3 key myths, mistakes, and problems that your ideal audience is facing that you know is not serving them, and what to do instead, and then a call to action that's a strategy session. Or if you're ready to sell straight into your offer, you can. I usually go to strategy session and then an invitation to work with you. Then you can layer in like the traffic sources to that well-converting funnel. And so that's what I work with my clients in, is that they know no matter what traffic, LinkedIn, Facebook ads, Facebook live traffic, no matter what traffic they layer, point them to that well-converting webinar and funnel, and they know for X amount of people that they can get on to view it, they're going to have X number of clients that are created on the back end. That's what I call a funnel.
Oh, love it. So then how about for a service-based business? They don't have a program. They're service-based business. They're like, myself, I do virtual assistants, web design, and all that stuff. So how about for all those freelancers out there that provide service? What can they do for a signature program?
They can package their services. So they can offer, like, here's my core offering. This is the most requested service that I have. Here's the price point, and it's the higher price point. And if they say no, then you can downsell them to something lesser. I'm always big about like having your core offer and then having a downsell if they can't afford it. And what happens with service-based people a lot of times is they do a bunch of one-offs, a bunch of custom solutions. And I say, no, let's package what you do best into one core solution that you can scale. How can you scale what you do? So for instance, a service provider might have a core program, have a signature program that says, here, if you want to do this yourself, here are the 5 keys to building a well-converting website, for instance. And if you don't want to do it yourself, I can do it for you. And here's what that package looks like.
So signature programs don't necessarily have to be an actual physical teaching product. It can be an actual service also that you provide. It could be a package service.
Yep.
Love it. Perfect. Wow, this has been an incredible coaching session. I have so many questions, but we could go on for hours and hours, and I know we have to stop somewhere. So I want to thank you so much. I'm so excited that you're giving the 6-figure blueprint for high-end signature programs as a free gift. Everyone can get it at the amazingwomenofInfluence.com/create. CREATE, create.
And this is what's in that blueprint. It's how to choose a profitable program idea, how to create your program, how to package it, how to package your expertise, how to price it, and how to deliver it. All of that's included.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of this event and sharing your story. Your story is an inspiration to many entrepreneurs, to women all over the world that want to get out there and to live their dream life. And their dream life doesn't necessarily have to be, driving around in a Ferrari and being on the beach all day long, 24 hours a day or anything like that. It's just achieving the dream that you want. And that's what this whole summit is for. The Amazing Women of Influence Summit is about sharing the stories of amazing women that have gotten there. They've been there, done that multiple times, and now want to share the story. And I thank you for being a part of it and your free gift. And how can we learn more about you? Like, can we reach you on Facebook? Maybe you can share a little bit how we can find you.
Yeah, you can go to vanessahorn.com, VANESSAHORN.com, and that will give you links to my Facebook. I do have a Facebook community where I'm always giving free resources away. I do very frequently education-based webinars and Facebook Lives, and I'm very generous like with my gifts because it's my philosophy. Like my programs are typically high-end programs, but my philosophy is like I want my free stuff to be what other people would charge for. I don't even mess around with the low price stuff. I just give it away for free.
Oh, you're so amazing. Thank you. Thank you once again. Okay, everybody, get it at amazingwomenofinfluence.com/create, CREATE. Thanks again, Vanessa. Have a great day. Thank you, everybody. Talk to you soon.